And how beautiful is that? We couldn't have had more beautiful of a day or presentation here in the first 5-star.
And away we go, another one for the United States of America. Lauren Nicholson on course, carrying 30.7 penalties, sits top 20 in the division after dressage. Going to be fascinating to see Will Coleman's time when he comes home. He looks to have been motoring, but whether, you know, the 11 minutes is going to be achievable on this course, we couldn't ask for better conditions to try and achieve the time, especially with this first couple of minutes going out and coming home, all being on this steeplechase grade turf.
Another view of the aqueduct to the ditch here. Bug is a little horse by his own right, being part Anglo-Arab, related to her infamous longtime partner Snooze Alarm, first 5-star horse.
So over that upright white gate, this is our first one. Is he going to take both of the owl holes? Certainly the horse reads the first one. They are very snug, very well. Through the 2 owls, Will Coleman on his way home.
So Don Dante looking a little more tired, but looking at my clock, if I do math correctly, I think he may still be.
Well, he would be coming up to his 10-minute marker after this next jump. Just has to balance down to the yellow roll top. 10 minutes should be coming up around there.
Yep,
still a couple of big questions to go.
You know, you feel like you've gotten a large portion of the meat done on this course, but these hills at the end are going to feel like they take hours to get up.
So what's he going to do here? They knew, it's actually Will I saw walking this, saying he knew that they were going to be long and low. He's going to go for these very simple brush panels on a long forward stride rather than the 2 Oriole birds at the final order.
So, you know, Will actually was a bit up on the time. You can see this horse is a bit tired coming back, and that's a much smarter decision. Those birds, if they were put in the beginning of the course, that would be a preliminary question. But where they are at the end of that track, that is a serious question. You have to have a lot of horse underneath you to negotiate.
So Will's just going to nurse this one home. Don Dante, just 11 years old, so an age at which you just expect them to be starting their 5-star career. And you want them to enjoy it and have plenty more runs in the future. And Will's going the right way about making sure that happens for this nice horse. So our first one is safely home. We'll get a feel for the time in just a moment as well. Will Coleman and Don Dante, though, they jump around and they jump clear at the Maryland 5-star. The first to complete the 5-star cross-country is Will Coleman and Don Dante.
I think he actually may have been pretty close to it, if my timer is accurate. See Will already to the cabins off the bank.
Yeah, Will Fordry and Fun just a little bit further right than Will Coleman earlier on over those cabins, so he shortens the distance between the two of them, but there's still such a wide rooftop to jump. This is back in the Hunt Kennel Field now for Lauren Nicholson. This is the fence where we saw Buck have his problems originally. Vermiculus looks in great shape on the way down. And
really tidy.
No problem out over the third element. The big problem, I think, there is going to be ones that run along the front out to the left before taking it on.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a horse that gets a little too keen and running down that hill, the way that corner is placed in the camber of the ground, it's asking for a run out.
So here is Philip Dutton and Sea of Clouds going out onto the course. We can tell you that the time we've been given for Coleman is 11:09, so he will pick up 9 times 4, 3.6 time penalties.
Well, I mean, that was a masterful bit of riding, because you saw how tired that horse was in the end, and to have him get that horse home safely just 9 seconds over the time, I think he's going to be happy with bringing that back and knowledge for his second round later in the day.
So 7-time US Olympian Philip Dutton on course. Will rejoin him in just a moment as Will Fordry and Fun, having jumped recently down the Fairhill bank. We must be looking at them. The other side of the same field where we just saw Lauren Nicholson. Yeah, he's climbing up out of this field through his 8-minute marker towards fence 23 on course. Just a simple shelter. Lauren Nicholson now out in the far sawmill area of the course, where the Gallagher property is just the other side of that road where the event used to be, and she's threading her way up towards the Mars Sustainability Bay water. Philip Dutton and Sea of Clouds. 5th in the 4-star long at Jersey Fresh this year. This is the first 5-star for a horse that's been around the 4-star long at Jockey Club and Tryon.
It'll be interesting to see how that horse comes home, being greener to the level, but Philip is an expert at how to get horses fit sitting on an off-the-track thoroughbred.
Lauren's little bug, as he's known, Vermiculus, charging up the hill. Whilst Philip Dutton sets up for this double of container ships, Cecil County water.
You know, it looks like he's spooking off the little child's play area there on the side. Really had to work to get the horse's attention back on where it was going.
Well, crossing through their 6-minute marker here at the top of the course.
Looks like on my clock, right on her markers.
And here's Will Fordrian Fun at the double of Owls. 25 AB on a 28 fence course. You don't feel that Will Coleman necessarily took his full 9 seconds that he was over the time by making a difference at that final Baltimore Orioles water.
No, I think he felt something that maybe not even everyone could see, which that was a smart decision to make, doing the easier option on the right side.
This is our first opportunity to see this, the sort of the vicarage area, that corner over the open ditch, just set at a different angle to it.
Big bravery test, but you see Buck take a peek. He's a careful little jumper, but he still looks full of run.
And Lauren wouldn't be a rider to be scared by that either, having jumped the real one at Badminton with Veronica.
You know, and you have that jump actually related to this downhill only because you want to make sure the horses don't take a step back in between the AB. You have these two numbered separately. Really attacks that. That was great. Horse definitely saw where it was going on the way out. You have Will also making the same decision as the previous Will on looks to be a bit of a tired horse as well. You know, those pulls in the end really, even as a rider when you walk them, you're more fatigued just finishing up the course walking it. You only imagine what they feel like. I mean,
the riders were saying, not half jokingly, that I might just walk the stride through these fences again at the Oriole Water for a trot stride.
Yeah, well, no kidding. That's what it seems like they have left in the end.
Brown Advisory are our sponsors on that final Oriole Bird Water, the state bird of Maryland, making its appearance towards the end of the course. Here we see that Fun is quite a bit over the time, coming up for just over 45 seconds, which would be 18 time penalties. Will nurses him home.
Some smart riding by both those guys, because if you push a tired horse at that end, you know, it just takes a little bit of heart out of him, and those horses have tried their all. I think he's going to be really happy with that round.
So Will Fordrian Fun safely home, but our first to complete the 5-star ever has been US Olympian Will Coleman, and he's with Frankie.
Flags here, and he's getting some celebratory hugs from his daughter. Will, congratulations, you got home. What was the course like out there?
It's a battle. It's a real battle. Stamina, questions themselves, everything just felt like a war, you know, and you really have to listen to your horse. There are times where they just need a minute. My horse definitely got tired. This is his first 5-star finish, and probably the hardest fitness test any event horse has ever encountered in the short format era, anyways. And I think he tried to the finish. That's all I can ask for. It was a bit rough, a bit like just kind of kick and pull in places, but I hate to say it, I think that's kind of what it's going to be, and you just got to go out there and fight for it and hope your horse fights with you.
Well, you've ridden around some of the hardest tracks in the world. How does this compare?
You know, the terrain is just brutal. It just really is, and I thought at the end of the course the combinations really test your adjustability, and that's just really difficult on a tired horse, especially when you're throwing terrain into it as well. You know, Burley is obviously the one that we've all kind of compared this to, but just in terms of, I think, how the horse is finished, I think you're going to see more worn-out horses here than Burley, and I think it's more just a grueling test. I think the nice thing that he's done is he's let you get home. The horses are finishing with their ears pricked, but they just don't have that last gear.
All right, well, you had some feedback for your friends there in the rider box. We'll watch that, how they interpret that feedback and do it themselves. Congratulations, Will. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Frankie.
Just a cracking bit of cross-country riding there from Philip Dutton a moment ago, because once again that ditch in front of the Normandy bank seems to be making them land really short up, and Philip just let the horse go long. He sat just out of the bridge of the reins and let the horse find his own way. He kept him between the hands.